Hello everyone, welcome to Redmen TV. My name's Dan and I'm here to give my thoughts after Liverpool beat Bournemouth 3-1 at Anfield. Now, this was a scoreline that relatively flattered the Reds in the end and sounds a lot more comfortable than it was, I think it's fair to say, because for 20 minutes, for half an hour, we were nowhere near it in the first half. We started so poorly. We barely started the first half when the whistle went, to be honest. We were lucky not to go 1-0 down in the early moments. Too many errors, too lazy, didn't get going at all. Got away with it, offside flag saves us. Moments later, we actually do go 1-0 down. A really poor touch from Trent in midfield. One he'll be very disappointed with. Bournemouth capitalise, they do take the lead. And for 20 minutes, it was reminiscent of what we seen last season. Too many errors, too sluggish, not winning second balls, midfield getting bypassed. All the things that we became accustomed to and all the bad habits from last year were there for all to be seen. And this was at Anfield against Bournemouth, a team that we beat 9 last year at our place. So really concerning, not at it in any way, shape or form. And it took us 25 minutes, half an hour to really get any sort of foothold in the game. We had one header from Van Dijk that hit the bar that could go in and might change the course of the early moments. But aside from that, we were miles off it for half an hour. But like I say, we get back into the game. It's all down to Diaz. Diogo Jota does well with the assist, but it is Diaz. It's all Diaz. The touch is magnificent. The improvisation to score is absolutely outstanding. It's absolutely wonderful football from him. And he's got those moments in his locker, and he tends to do it when we are facing adversity, when we're not started well, when we're not playing well, and he comes up with a big moment, and it gets us into the game, and we really needed it. We then get the lead, sort of against the run of play, given how the first half had gone. Szoboszlai wins us a penalty. I think there's a lot of question marks about the penalty personally. I think there's contact, it's minimal, it's right on the edge of the box. It is in the area, that's not really an issue, but his feet are magnificent. He makes the most of the contact, let's put it that way. He gives the ref a decision to make. The ref makes it instantly, no hesitation, pointed to the spot. Then Salah gets really lucky with his pen. I've never been a big fan of Salah on pens, and I know his record's pretty decent, apart from his last 5, which I think he's missed 3 of now, including one against Bournemouth down there last year when I drove all the way down to watch it. But he misses his pen initially, goes for power, gets it far too close to the keeper, gets a good arm on it, but scores the rebound comfortably. Liverpool 2-1 up, happy days. Second half, we actually started much better in the second half. We were in the ascendancy, we were in the driving seat, making things happen much better, much more positive. Exactly what we wanted to see, because too often we've been guilty of not starting halves well, let alone matches. So much more impressive, much more like us, much more like what we've come to expect. And we were in the ascendancy in the game, and then out of nowhere, really, it's the game gets thrown into the balance a little bit, because it's actually one of our attacks. It sort of breaks loose from a set piece, and Mac Allister's going for 50-50. Gets there second, gets there late, which is a problem in itself. Catches the man quite high, and momentarily his studs are showing. But by the time he makes contact, he kind of side foots his calf. Ref, again, no hesitation, red card. Mac Allister's sent off. First ever red card. Anfield debut, by the way, ruined. You won't want to remember that game particularly. But for me, it's not a red. I think it's harsh, and Liverpool should probably appeal it, but we'll see. Paul Tierney in VAR obviously doesn't overturn it. You won't be surprised to hear that, of course, Reds. But yeah, Mac Allister sent off, bit of a shock. We're just starting to wonder, what do we do? Endo's already lucky he's coming on by that point for his debut. Defensive mind in midfield, of course. Someone we needed, because, again, those frailties in midfield were clear to all to see. They were running in behind us. They were getting out of defence, bypassing the midfield time and time again. Far too easy for me. But seconds after that, when we're all sort of scrambling around, panicking, thinking what we do, we actually extend the lead. It's a shot from distance. Neto gets down to save well again, but this time it's Diogo Jota on the rebound, doing what all good strikers do, on the move in the box, reacting first, getting there before anyone's even thought about it, tapping in, making it 3-1. Boss. Diogo Jota's actually a pretty poor game by this point. I don't think he'd really had his best moments. Similarly to a lot of the lads in the first half, his touch was off a couple of times. He had half chances to get a shot away, gets his touch wrong. Salah the same, by the way. Trent certainly the same for the first goal, so he wasn't on his own. But I think across the board we were poor for half an hour, but Jota's poor game kind of continues for a while, up until the moment. He is that guy. He's Johnny on the spot. He reacts first. He's the lad to go and do it. Wonderful moment. And makes us relax a little bit, quite frankly, because at the time, just lost Mac Allister. Who knows what would have happened from there on out. But I do want to say, before I wrap up, that for the final half an hour, whatever it was, Dom Szoboszlai was out of this world. I thought he was unbelievable. He'd had an okay game by that point. He was sound, won us the penalty, great. But for the next half an hour when we went down to 10 men, he was like a man possessed. He stepped up, he took control, he was winning the ball, he was winning free kicks, he was taking us out of danger. He was everywhere, absolutely everywhere, and he was unbelievable. I'm so happy for him, because whilst Mac Allister will come good again, it won't affect him in the long run. He'll be fine. He's a wonderful footballer. As Anfield debuts go for Szoboszlai, that was next level. It really was, especially when we were starting to panic a little bit. We went down to 10 men. He was the one to say, no, let me take control. Proper, we don't want to say it when number 8, but a proper leader's performance, and boss, happy days, wonderful. Liverpool get the job done. Wasn't perfect. Wasn't that easy. Should have been more straightforward, potentially. End of the day, it is what it is. 3 points at Anfield. We move on. Endo, nice little debut for him. Some minutes to the end. They'll be good, because we might have lost Mac Allister for a couple of games now as well, let's be honest. So, yeah, all in all, job done. 3 points. I'll wrap up now. There's loads and loads more content to come, of course. You'll be hearing more from me on Redmen Plus. But yeah, make sure you go there, check it out. You can still use code ENDO, 50% off, Captain Yearly. Get that done. Yeah, Liverpool get 3 points. What more do you want? Better performance, possibly. Actually start the game when everyone else does, maybe next time. Other than that, sound. Happy days. I will speak to you all very, very soon. Take it easy.